Slide building in strategy consulting. Hi everyone, my name is Johannes Niari. I'm a strategy consultant, and on this channel I want to help you to learn necessary skills that you need in your first years in consulting to have a successful career but also live a balanced life. And today I want to build a slide with you together. So this is, no fake, no editing. I will just build the slide in real time with you so that you see how I would build a slide if I had to build it from scratch. And what we actually do is that we build a framework. So this is not a very data-driven slide. This is more a little bit of advanced slide building style, where we have to build a framework that has to look nice. But nevertheless, I thought if I had to build this framework anyhow, then why not recording it, and hopefully you learn something. So to give you a little bit of background, what I want to do is to create a slide for one of my next YouTube videos. And this slide or this video will be about digital transformation. And I want to build a framework that I have from a book about digital transformation. And then in the YouTube video, I will explain a little bit how we do digital transformations in consulting. But I want to build the slide first, and I will record the process. Good. So what we basically want to build is this framework here. I just zoom a little bit. So this is a framework. This is from the book Leading Digital, a great book about digital transformation in consulting. It's basically written by consultants, and I think it's Capgemini or Deloitte. I'm not sure about that. I have to look that up. But it's a book written from consultants about digital transformation together with the MIT. And this book, I think, was published in 2015. This was really huge and kind of very popular for people who are interested in digital transformation. So I want to build this framework, and as you see, we have a couple of circles here. Then we have these areas, and I want to talk about those 4 circles or 4 main circles. So I want to build a chart where I can highlight those colors separately. And this is a little bit complex. I had to think about it for a couple of minutes how I will do that, but I think I found a solution, and let's build it together. So I put this aside. And also I will comment a little bit on how I approach slide building. And this is in general the process that you have also in strategy consulting. So first of all, if you see or if you take a look at my slide, this is also would be a slide setup that I would work with in management consulting. So first of all, you see the header, then the action title, then here the space, footnotes, and presentation name, and slide number, of course. What you see very often if I build slides is that I like to use guidelines, and I like to use guidelines in different colors, because first of all I want to have the general frame. These are my blue guidelines here, that highlight the general frame, and then the red ones are the guidelines which divide the main body in quarters, and the orange ones are the guidelines that highlight or that separate the main body in thirds. Why do I do that? Well, there are studies that show that if we structure elements, graphical elements, in thirds or in quarters, it just looks more balanced for the eye. So this basically, just helps me to stick within these guidelines and to, really make this slide look balanced. So basically, I always say that there's a 4-step process to build slides in consulting. This is what we got here. So basically, first, focus on a core message. So before you even think about, touching PowerPoint, think about the core message first. I typically write a preliminary action title first. Then, I think about the slide flow and structure. So how will I structure the slide? Then I create the content itself. And at the end, I do the brush up and the design. And this is exactly what we will do in this video as well. Good. And then let's jump into it. First, let's think about an action title. We need an action title for this framework here. And then I will just write a digital transformation consists of 4 important phases. So we'll probably change that at the end. But this illustrates the 4 phases that I want to highlight later on with the colors. And I think we have those 4 phases because this is consecutive, and I think this is a good preliminary action title. Good, let's then think about the structure of the slide. And basically we just have a circle, okay? So when I structure slides, I think it's always important to stick within the guidelines. And basically we have a circle, so it will be probably something that will be more in the middle. And I intend to use this kind of area here in the middle, staying within those red guidelines, so that I, leave out the quarters here and the quarters here. And then I have this square area in the middle that I use to build this framework. Good. Then let's start with building the framework. I think the issue that we have, or the challenge that we have with this framework, is that we need to create those kind of circles. And this is not really easy, because those kind of circles, it's not very intuitive to build them in PowerPoint, but I will show you some tricks on how to do that. One comment maybe, I will use a lot of shortcuts, so I also recommend to you that you use shortcuts as well. Most people use shortcuts in Excel, but I think in PowerPoint it's always also very useful, because it saves a lot of time. So I first insert a shape. That's a bit slow because I'm recording, and we need this kind of shape. And the advantage of this shape is that we have a circle, but we can also adjust the circle to create a quarter circle. Looks good. Then I include white outlines. I will tell you why in a second. We have the second circle, then the third one, like that, and then the fourth one. Good. Then we have to align this. I have a plugin here called Efficient Elements. There are other plugins as well, but these are the plugins that my firm uses. So, sorry. Yeah, for some reason I have some issues here with the display. That's why you don't see the shapes that well. Don't know what the reason is. But what I basically did was I created those 4 quarter of circles, and I aligned them so that we have the line here in the middle. And the cool thing is that I, since those are 4 elements, I can just color code them in different ways. So I can make this one blue, for example, and this will help us later on. And how I created those lines was just creating a white outline. So every element here has a white outline. Then I group this. Also, what I need to do now is to go to Format Shape, and then lock aspect ratio, because I want to make it bigger now, and I need to stay within the same ratios. So I also put it in the middle to make it as large as possible, probably something like that. Good. And that's the basic layout of our circle, and that's the main frame that we use. Now we see that we have several circles here. So this is the large circle, but we also see that we have a circle here in lighter gray, then this kind of circle here, and then a circle in the middle. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. This is the outer circle. Then I create another one, make it a bit smaller, center it. So this will be the next layer, a bit larger. Then creating the next layer. This will be the small one. And then I think this is only for graphical reasons. Let's do it otherwise. I mean, you don't really need this kind of third circle here. I think they only put it in that it looks nice, but why not? Let's also create this 4th circle. Good. Sorry, other way around. Yeah, sorry, I messed up. Let me do it again. So here we go. This is the larger one, and then we need another one, and this is the inner circle. Cool. So what you see now is that I built basically the frame, and this is how I typically approach it. I just built the structure of the slide without even thinking about color coding or whatsoever. Okay, so this is usually the first step that I do. So what we can do now is, or what we have to do now, is that we have to include those white lines. And this is kind of difficult because I mean we already have it here, for those 2, but we also need those lines that cut the circle in thirds basically. So we include a line I color coded in white. And here's a trick that you can use. You can put it here in the middle. Then you go here to rotation, and then we know that we have to do a 30-degree rotation. So we have this once. I'm repeating this. Then this time we need a 60-degree rotation. And then we need the same again here. So it's again a 30-degree rotation. And then, another 60-degree rotation. Good. So now we created the spaces that we need. So before we add the text, I think now we can take care of the color code. So all of this is grouped, or most of it, so we need to ungroup, of course, in order to work with these elements. And now I just color code. This is a preliminary, oops, this is not ungrouped. This is not a, this is a preliminary color code that I use here, just to see, how it works. I probably will change the colors afterwards, but just to show you how I would do that. So what I basically do is that I just select the master colors here, like that, and probably I will do that one in a light. No, that's too light. Why not? We keep it that way. And then I do just the shading, so that this is one element lighter. Like that. As I said, I probably change the colors, but I just need some orientation now to, oops, oh, why doesn't it work? The disadvantage of using shortcuts is that sometimes if you're too quick, then you mess it up. Like that. Like that. Then we have this circle here. Like, where are we? Like that. So just take some time. Sorry for that. No, this was wrong. But this is all real time, so that you also get a feeling how much time you can spend on a slide. And I have to say, normally I would use a template that would be like that. So in real life, I would probably not copy this kind of template, but rather, use a template from my firm. But since I didn't have a template at hand at the moment, I cannot do it. Good, then I think we need this one, and this one, dark one, then the blue. But you already see that we get a pretty nice circle here. That really helps us, good, to structure the whole thing. So this is the basic structure of the circle. So this is how I would do it. And you already see how cool it is, that I can adjust those elements graphically. And this really helps to make this, a bit more easy to see and to understand for the audience. So the issue is now, or one issue is now, as we see that we don't want to have those lines in between here in this first circle. So the way to solve that is to put that in the front. Yeah. So you go to JD format and then AF and then F for bring to front. It didn't work. Let's do it manually. Here we go. Then the same here. Let's H G. Let's do it this way. Then bring to front is R. Then we take this one. H, G, and then R to bring it to front, and then this one H, G, oops, sorry, wrong shortcut, H, G, and then R. Good, so that's the basic structure. And what I will do now is just to include the text boxes, and then I think we already have it or almost have it. So I will just, include the text. I will do it in black. So the text in black. So like this. Sorry, now it's get difficult. Like this. The issue is that we now have a lot of elements, so it's getting complicated to, move things around. I could group the entire circle, and this would make it easier now for me to include the text, but I don't want to ungroup it later on, so that's why I work with this. And that's basically how I do it. Oops. Chip, chip. You see, that's the issue. And here we go. Good. And of course, we need the text for the outside. This will be like the headline. Let's copy that one. A cool shortcut is if you press Control and Shift. Oops, press Control and Shift. You can just move those elements around, and they stay in the line. And what you also can do, but I'm not sure if I do it. Let's see if I can do it quickly. You can go to text effects, and then you can do a rotation. I know, where is it? Sorry, this was wrong. I think it's in transform. Yeah, here we go. And then you can create the text in circles. And this is how you get the text here in these circles, in the circle shape. But the big challenge here is always that, it's very difficult to adjust the angle, and that's why I don't really like that. But nevertheless, I think you can also just copy paste the format, right? Yeah. Then just copy paste the format. FP. This didn't work. Yeah, the thing is that PowerPoint now is a bit slower. Okay, this one we need to. Okay, what we need to do here is that, of course, TX, T, these one have to be vice versa because they are here at the bottom. Probably this one should be white then. More like that. And this one also in white, and this one like that. Good. And that's basically it for this video. So we came to step number 1 and step number 2. And this is, the first step that I would do. I would basically, just always start with, thinking about core message, then building this frame here first. And you see, I didn't really care about design. I didn't really care about any kind of fancy icons or all the text. The first thing that you should build is, the structure. Since I already know what kind of content I have, I think this is fine because I already know what kind of image I have in my head. If you don't know the core message at the beginning, then of course you need to take a step back and think about, okay, what do you even want to show? And then you should be more clear about the content. But since I already have this framework, I already got the core message. So this is why I started directly with the core message. I knew pretty well, what kind of structure I wanted to have. I built the structure, but I don't care about the content yet, about the precise content and about the design. Okay, so this means that in the next steps, I will, include the text here, and I will brush this up and make it look nice. But, this is probably something for another video, or if you're interested in the end result, then just watch the next video about the digital transformation, because there I would probably show it. So I hope this brought some value to you. Keep in mind, always have this kind of structured presentation or slide building approach. This really makes you much more efficient. Also, get used to use shortcuts. This also makes it easier for you to be more efficient in PowerPoint. If you are interested in more PowerPoint tips and how to work, and if you want to learn how to build PowerPoint slides in consulting, then check out the link to the masterclass, to my free masterclass, in the comments or in the description, because this is a free masterclass that helps you to learn all the necessary skills that you need in your first years in consulting. So with that being said, I hope this brought value to you. Thank you for watching and have a successful day. Talk to you soon. Goodbye, Johannes.